Hello, hello! Welcome one and all, welcome to my stream. I am PaladinAshe here to stream for you again, and apologies for the weird, probably technical difficulties you were witnessing on your end of me starting and stopping a stream. I may have set this up incorrectly, and I'm a little bit annoyed right now. But either way, welcome to my stream. I am back again with Satisfactory, and hopefully I won't have any issues going forward with that. But, yeah. Also, I'm kind of also annoyed. I can see that my recent subscribble did not update. I'm gonna have to interact with Bo about that. Because I'm a potato. I really fucking am. But whatever. Let's get into it again with Satisfactory. Today I am hoping to get fuel power online and maybe do more. Let's see. That would be Cum Dumpster Land. Okay, here where we are. Yeah, in between last stream and this one, I was able to decipher the hard drives I had on my person to get heavy oil residue. The recipe I fucking wanted. So, general gist here. 30 oil equals 40 oil equals 20 resin. So, 30 oil... 240. Let's turn on the calculator. There we go. Let's check the metrics, or not the metrics. Check if I am. Okay, I'm live on that end. Am I live on the YouTube end? Oh. There we go. I was able to track down my thing. I really wish that wouldn't show up. Whatever. So 240. 30 equals 8 machines. I don't really want to use 8 machines. Zoop. So, if I don't want to use 8 machines, I'm gonna have to use that many. 6, 12, 18, 24. So, 4 machines at the expense of that. Okay, that is set up. 8, 16, 24, 32. This will generate 3,200 and 16, or no, 3,200 is the wrong word. 320, heavy oil, and 116 resin. Now, plastic isn't immediately a thing that I'm going to need a whole lot of right now, but since I want my fuel production to also yield me some, packaged fuel. Okay. Da, 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 da. Get away, get away, get up. Okay. Six, 12, 18, 24. 160, what's it over? 4, 8, 12, 16. Yeah. 160. So... $13.5. 13.4. This is the part where I eyeball the math rather than just fucking do it on a calculator. No. 4. 3. 13, 2, 3, 3, 3. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I made these, right? Lofted splitters. Yes, I'm gonna need those. I don't have any rods. I forgot to get rods. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. As soon as I've got fuel power up and running, I'm fucking automating fuel power and plastic. I'm fucking automating up to engines, frames, and I'm not sure what else. At which point I'm gonna whip out another piece to my kit. I also haven't decided on how... actually, I have. Got the sulfur coming down here. No, actually. Because I've got a bunch of coal nodes accessible to the grasslands, but the question is, do I want to dedicate any of those coal nodes to anything but steel production? Because I could, in theory, run over the coal node from like closest to me with the sulfur and make compacted coal. Compacted coals, I want to say, a necessary stage to turbo fuel, which I'm not gonna be able to make in this stream, I don't think. I need to track down some fucking comfy sort of background music that's free use. Right now I've got that one song from Hathaway, Gundam Hathaway, that's like basically like very James Bond blasting in my ears. Great song, but I'm pretty sure I would get like muted for slapping that up. Right. Murder. I've got plenty of space. Let's place down one facing this way. And one facing this way. Go away. I'm so intensely tempted to like make my my compacted coal run be like literally just using a vehicle. That would be hilarious because I've never used those before. Splitter. Let's just get all these conveyors out of the way. Plastic receptacle and output is finished. Except for that. These are set. These are set. Okay. So I've got 4 here. My pipes currently can only take up to 300... 300 even. 8, 16, 24, 32. Best to split it down the middle. So... I'm gonna fucking put these here. Not more than 10 meters. Close enough. Pipes are annoying. Organization. I'm gonna treat that like a support. Hey, yay! How goes your day? Let's see. 816, so that's receiving 16. No, not you. 612. Let's give it... No. 50. 55. Actually. I could do this. 8 divided by 60. So I need 133. Let's go with Yes. Perfect. Nice. Was it yesterday or the day? Like, was it yesterday or was it supposed to be today? That was the holiday. I'm losing track of my days. Round thing? Yeah. You get a massive silo upgrade with, I think with fluid packaging. Ah, cool. Not completely uniform, but I don't need it to be completely uniform. Oh, therefore fuel, like oil. Well, in this case, I'm putting the heavy oil fuel into them. In between this stream and the last one, I didn't spend much time, on play last time afterwards. I let the hard drives decipher and was able to acquire the recipe I wanted, which is, let me just show it off. Alternate heavy oil residue. This is the inverse of the one that I've got running over there, which is that instead of getting a lot of resin and a little bit of heavy oil residue, I get a lot of heavy oil residue and a little bit of resin. Hey, Valsia. It's going well. Let's see. Plunk that in. No, not from that end. Okay. These are all set up. Might be wise if I spread it around. Got 53. So, game's going pretty well. So basically, this is the oil extractor. This extracts crude oil. Now, when you enter into the fuel phase, you're generally not given these alternate recipes here. They're a thing you have to unlock. You get these ones here. And three of them yield heavy oil, but not a whole lot. And then from there, you can refine heavy oil into residual fuel. Though I'm hoping at some point soon, because getting fuel here and getting it all packaged up will allow me to acquire the recipe for turbo fuel, which is red colored. It's easier when I'm explaining this to people to just be like, I convert black to purple, then from purple either to orange or to red. One sec. I'll choose on those in a moment. That's sulfur. This recipe here. Oh yeah, the red one goes very fast. And then after that, there's one more fuel type. I can't remember what it's called. It's like jet fuel or nitro fuel or something like that. And that's like a whole extra stage more. But turbo fuel requires me to get into nitrogen. So I won't have access to that until phase 4. So I'm probably going to set up fuel here and book it off to the grasslands where I'm going to start tearing down my existing fabrication stuff and setting up better ones. So let's see. These are set up. Gotta make sure I didn't accidentally change that one. Numbers are correct. And these are correct. Okay, so. I'm going to spread it across this way. Tank's going to go about... about here. And that's going to come in about there. Actually, I'm going to move that way closer. Being a bit egregious with that. Right here. It's down here. Okay. I need to clear this out a lot. No, I'm not going to break down my chainsaw. Yep, making more space. Technically, I can just build on top of these, but like... yeah. Do the thing. There we go. It's just kind of annoying to see what you're doing when you've got brush in your face. I should probably deal with these guys before they become a problem. Okay. Bucks. Oh, one of those bitches. Ah! Okay, that shouldn't be a problem. What? From this bitch, I guess? Ha! Okay, I can work with this. Okay. So if memory serves... Actually, no, I'm going to, power. Okay, I shouldn't have to return to anything for a bit. I think I can easily power about 5 of these things. on just like one fuel line. I'm curious too. So I may end up having to like postpone the next episode because like I haven't decided, but I'm going to a family thing on Saturday. So I have to go down island for that. But it's not that long of a drive, but you know, it is kind of an obnoxious drive to do after dark. At the same time, it is an option. If memory serves. I mean, I can always look this up. One sec. Satisfactory wiki power or fuel powered. Fuel power generator consumes 20 per minute. Yeah. The family thing's not some like severe thing. Basically, every year around November, we celebrate my grandfather's, life, my late grandfather's life. You know, as my mother calls it, a celebration of life, which is a common term that I've heard from like mostly people pushing into their like twilight years, in recent years. I guess it's just less macabre than saying, "Hey, by the way, we're going to be sad for a bit." I am out of Caterium wire. Damn it. May as well go back. Ugh. But yeah, once I get the fuel lines up and running and in a state of reasonable stability, I'm gonna definitely switch over to a different form of power. Or not switch over to a different power. I am definitely going to automate, or like improve the automation in the grasslands. If I've got the supplies for it, I may even run the rail from the fuel area, because I'm going to need the plastic and the rubber for a number of things. Yeah, at this point, hand holding is something I really can't afford to do in terms of time because it's like deeply inefficient. Plus, I only have access to the very basic recipes when doing it by hand. I have to like use automation machines for alternate recipes and whatnot. Of course, I might also make a detour up into the desert region because there's a bunch of easily acquired hard drives up there. It might also be wise to see about getting myself some explosives. Let's see. Okay, foil. Yeah, okay. For now, everything I'm placing down is a temporary thing. May as well place that down with the Caterium wire. Yeah. I would personally die if they made Matt not return. There is a limited supply of Mercer orbs and Sommer sloops in a given like map, as are the same with like power slugs. The only exception with the power slugs and the power shards is that you eventually learn how to make power shards via other means. But that's very end game. Like, we're talking like so much automation. I've never even touched it. Like in my side file, like my newer side file, I've gotten to a stage where I have most things in the first and second tier automated reasonably. But even then, I could do to improve that automation, because oftentimes when you add more machines or more recipes in there, and you've only like set up for like automating, say like rods and plates, everything gets a bit messy. It's kind of helpful to treat your fabs like they're ephemeral, if you will. Like they're temporary in every case, because if you don't, if you get too attached to them and like the effort you put into building them, it can make things difficult for you. Okay. I'm gonna break one of these down, break that down. So if all of these yield... Oh. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 20. That's 100. How much am I yielding over here again? What? Oh, wrong machines. Wrong. So, 53. So I've got 12 left over out of the lot. I'm kind of mimicking how I set it up in my other file, but like you're seeing it all like, with a little bit less of me ruminating for ages and sitting around. Especially because when I'm doing this like off stream, I'm kind of just faffing about a whole lot. Let's go with curve. Yeah, I suppose. There's a lot of things in this game that will, if not set up with like an aggressive degree of, like hyper automation, are just going to be, shall we say, long in the tooth. Like, when I originally set up stuff in my, like, original file, it took, like, hours for like, me to, like, complete various phase goals because I would just make one set of machines to, like, yield the very bare minimum results. So it was, like, drip feeding over time. A little bit of pre-planning does help you to, set things up with more intensity to the yield. Yeah, definitely. I'll say I am so prone to being samey about things. It also sets you up to, like, kind of follow a set formula over and over again. But then again, I don't know. If it works, what's the problem? Okay. No. Thank you. Okay. This is a perfect spot. Production, packaging. But again, I could run it over here. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna do that. No. There we go. Okay, so let's get a little bit hyper specific. No, wait, no. 53.333 times 4 divided by 2 minus 5 times 10 or 20. Okay. Yeah, okay. Let's get a bit hyper specific. Logistics, valve. Okay, fun thing about these. Unlike the you know, pump jacks that give lift and directionality, which is to say fluid can only go one way through those. These do not give lift, but because they're an actual valve, they allow me to set things very specifically. Now, I'm not going to set this super high. I'm going to set that to exactly 6, actually. And if that becomes a problem, I can always just... I mean, in this game, it basically amounts to the same. You know, flow speed and amount are more or less the same thing because you only determine things in terms of flow rate. So, flow rate in a volumetric form, cubic meters. Okay. That's connected, that's connected. Boosh. Okay, let's do the math one more time. I am yielding 53.333 times 4. And each of these is going to take about 1/2, so divided by 2, minus 5 times 20. Because each of those machines is going to consume 20. Yeah, okay. This way, there will be, over time, a matriculation of more fluid, but I don't mind that over much. Hey, yeah, so you need to go. Do I got... Fuck off. Okay, fine. Stay stuck there. The moment you're in the way, you die. Go away! Ada fucking always asking, oh, why did you do that? Yeah, I did that because fucking fucknuts like that. Okay, so this is almost done. Packaged fuel, no more than 12 a minute. Which means I need 12 canisters a minute. And why did I... Yeah, okay. Losing the plot a bit. Production, construction. Logistics. Smart splitter. Overflow. Canister. 12 per minute. Oh, that's actually... No, that's not a good idea. That's not a good idea. Reason being because I don't want to just, like, get rid of my plastic from there. It has a use, so I need to make sure that it is not... a liquid biofuel setup. I have to wonder why. I've never really seen the purpose in a liquid biofuel because you're by this point moving beyond biofuel. Yeah, okay. Logistics. Smart splitter. I want this on constant production. Low. All right. But I don't need this on constant. I mean, it is, but fucking, I haven't gotten fuel yet. Yeah, so biofuel is basically what you turn, like, leaves and meat and a whole bunch of other things into. You know, solid biofuel are the little, like, briquette things that I've got in my, like, lower left icon. They kind of suck for getting around on flying, but like I haven't got fuel. Oh, I haven't got fuel yet, so. Awesome sink. I don't expect... Fair enough. Ah. That is not going to be straight. Okay, there we go. No, we are fucking... There we go. All right, I need water now for these. From a plastic. 1333. Doesn't need to be hyper specific, but that can be done with but one. Hey, Chanka. Yeah, I suppose a liquid biofuel thing would be neat. I've just never set one up. And at this point, I'm about to start using, like, orange fuel for my jetpack, so it's kind of moot. Where is it? There it is. In what way is it worse than liquid biofuel? I'm asking to ask because, like, generally speaking, you know, I like to know why something is when somebody says it is. Huh. I might set that up after this then, because, you know, making a lot of biofuel is not really all that hard. You just feed the meat to it. Give us a noodle. How about a noodle? Nah, curve looked nicer. Uh, 3.332. Let's put it up just one. Or actually, being overly specific, I'm sure. Okay, I think this is all set up. I mean, may as well at the point that I am, because I have no, like, other than, like, making, like, aerosol canisters, I don't really have much of a purpose for, like, the meat that I pick up from all the many animals that attack me. Okay. Did I ever? I did not ever set up the piping back here. Ah, why did I do that? Gotta be quick. No, production. Organization. Let's put down one of you. That way I can justify where is the power lines. I mean, I guess that's the power lines right there, but still. Power. I don't need a fourth. Or I don't need additional slots yet, so there we go. You're on, right? Okay, you're doing your thing. Da-da-da-da. there we go. This is set up. This is set up. Letting that fill up so that it immediately has the pumps primed. I hope that's not too tall. I can never gauge the actual like distances in this game very well. I know these things only have a 10-meter head lift for anything that they pump out. Whatever. Okay, that is filling. Okay, I should be able to justify. Connected on all 4 fronts. That won't do shit for a bit. That said, solid fuel is like being an asthmatic going uphill. Could you went and lodged yourself there. So annoying. These power line connections, I'm sure, are not code compliant. Oh yeah, that's absolutely not code compliant. Let's strap a fucking electrical line up against a big tank of fuel. What's the worst that can happen? Yeah. Everything in like a industrial setting has exacting rules on how it will be placed and where it's going to go. And they all exist for a good reason. But funnily enough, that still becomes an issue with engineers who seem to like think they're clever by cutting corners here or there. Always blame the engineers. They're the ones who designed it. Okay, that's got nothing in it. That's got plastic shit being made. Okay, that's filling up. Not the most efficient just yet. You're not stoppering, are you? Okay, you're not stoppering. Everything is properly extracted. Want to get onto problems as they occur. I'm gonna let these things, fill up in the pipe before I even think of connecting any of these. They only turn on once you connect them to a line. How old is that bridge? I mean, I imagine it's not like brand spanking new, but like, it's always obnoxious when it's like, oh, we built this bridge to last. And it's like, oh, well, we built this bridge to last outside of our own careers. So it's only about a 50-year-old bridge by this point. 50, 60. Honestly, a new bridge, like, depending on size and ordinances, expect it to take, like, upwards of 10 years. And that's like, factoring in the time it will take them to get around to breaking ground. Like, I think I was living in North Van for about 5-ish years when they started talking about, twinning a bridge in the area. It was a whole debate, because it came down to, should we twin the bridges or build an underground rail tunnel that we don't have for a railway system that we have not built? Because, like, the Metro Vancouver area has what's known as the SkyTrain. It's called as such because it's, like, lifted above the ground and, like, lofted above, like, the buildings and weaving amongst them. It's reasonably efficient at what it does. But, like, they were, like, talking about, rather than, like, building an additional bridge, they were thinking about, oh, let's just, build a whole ass, like, underground rail system that will cost literal more billions than it would to build a bridge, and really only help those who don't get around by car. Yeah, the bridge that they built in my area, like, did get built within about, like, 5 years of the start. It was a pretty big bridge. Not, like, massive. Certainly not the size of that one that collapsed in China recently. Okay. How full are these, pipes? Okay, yeah, we're at the point where we're actually, like, the pipes are proper full. And these all have 50 in place. I'm going to let these tanks fill, let's say about here, or here. And then I'm going to turn these things on. Because the moment it does that, it's going to start, like, guzzling up, fuel. I never did connect this to something, did I? Fuck it. Pump. Yeah, I have a pretty, like, shall we say, hard opinion on the subject of, like, infrastructure, at least vis-a-vis that of, like, people who tend to be all like, oh, we need to have walkable cities. And it's like, okay, now let's make this a realistic opinion. Because, like, whether people like it or not, North America, and I'm including Canada in that equation, is built around the idea of cars. And while certainly there's something to be said about improving the state of being of cities that are changed into like several terribly like, road mapped fucking suburbs and whatnot, so people can get to something on foot more easily or go via bike. That certainly can be accounted for. A lot of people who talk about walkable cities have this delusion that you can just magically turn everything to like trains and buses and have it not cause everything to come to a screeching halt. It's a very city-born opinion, if you ask me. Okay. Yeah, that's another thing, is that, like, while there's certainly a value to public transit, like, good fucking God, half the stuff that you want to get for your home, it's like, it's not gonna come locally. And also the current, like, economy, like, for the last 100 years has been contingent on the idea of, quite literally, the decent prices that come from the stuff you get from IKEA and whatnot. Is it amazing heirloom quality furniture that will last for generations? Probably not. It's literally made from particle board with a veneer on it. Usually a fucking Arbright veneer or whatever. But like, it's good for a starter family. Not everybody can afford Amish-made bespoke wood furniture. There used to be like a place that sold Amish-made furniture near me. I don't think we have any north of the border Amish communities. I think we might. But like, there aren't many of them. And that stuff comes from Tennessee. And it was beautiful workmanship. Absolutely beautiful. But good fucking God, the price. Like, I looked at a table set there that was $10,000. Oh yeah, that's definitely a city thing. Having lived in a city, cities like to delude themselves into thinking they can go without vehicles, so they narrow fucking lanes and expand bike lanes. But like, quite literally, cities are contingent on semi-trucks. So very many semi-trucks. My buddy Joey drove into cities and fucking hated them because they're impossible to get through. There is no parking. And like, if somebody's like, oh, you're here at the wrong time, we're not taking your order, it's like, what the fuck am I gonna do with it? So much unnecessary bureaucracy, and the actual infrastructure of the given city is fucking horseshit. Yep, well, it is a new ass setup. Actually, wait, I swear you tuned in for a recent stream. you know, where I had that. Or have you not tuned in this week? What's my fuel look like now? I think that's good. I think we Gucci. I did not mean to make a power pole. Okay, our capacity there is 1,100 or 250. And to 500. Let's do another violation of, electrical code. Boom. Oh yeah, I was actually kind of pushing it there. That blue line is my max production or consumption if everything's just turning on at once. This is where things kind of waver currently. But I'm going to expand significantly, so I expect this line to go up. Nice! Thanks for tuning in, Fel. Okay. Hate you. The beans are cute, but they're also in the fucking way. Well, now that this is set up, and we've got all that power for now. Fuck you. Two to the back of the skull, bitch. I may as well get into the setup of a rail network. And if I'm going to... Mafia Bear, I'm a paladin. Or semi-retired. I'm a good boy. I've never killed anybody who didn't deserve it. Okay, that's doing exactly what it needs to do. Okay, so... Fuck it. While I'm here... There we go. Okay. Now let's, Ha! Not the bees! I immediately need the plastic. Ha! I mean, there's other novels for D&D. I assume you're joking, but like, there's shit tons. Like, so very many novels for them. Oh, yeah. Okay, fair. I still can't with that whole situation with Breezy. Like, okay, look. I am not opposed to a female character. I just need that to be understood. Like, literally, like, half the shit that I've consumed over my life has had a main character who was prominently a woman. Yeah. But, like, the problem with that fucking, advertisement for that novel is that R.A. Salvatore thought it was the wisest choice to make his first outing for that character be her belly aching that she's heavily associated with her very famous father. You know, never mind that, much like a Hollywood Nepo baby, she's getting where she is on the backs of all the fucking benefits of being the children of, you know, such an exalted line. Like, make no mistake, she is not like some fucking like farmer's son or daughter, you know, like deciding to take up a life of adventure. You know, that's not the life she's leading. This, like, imagine, if you will, fucking, you know, like, you're like a fresh boots on the ground adventurer from like or whatever, who's like went into adventuring for a new life because you weren't really looking at much. You're like the third son of a farmer family. Your like older brothers or siblings, you know, assuming your parents aren't like persnickety about who they will their land to, are you know, are going to like inherit, whereas like you've got nothing you're looking forward to. And they had no real connections with like the local smith, or hell, they had terrible connections with the local smith. You know, imagine that for a moment. So like you're getting into adventuring as like a way to have a good life. Maybe meet somebody, make your fortune. And you run into this one like random half-drow. And you know, pretty exotic. But you kind of initially vibe with her because like she talks about like the difficulties of establishing yourself. You know, when you haven't really got much going for you and all that jazz. You know, really talking up this hard done by lifestyle, you know, and of course throwing in how it's difficult because like, you know, everybody assumes you're, you know, bad because the only good drow out there is one everybody's heard of. And then like, you know, you start to notice that they're kind of like really fucking ungodly powerful. Like, genuinely speaking, like, they're doing some fucking probably blade singer shit. They know some fucking cantrips. And you're like, what kind of magic is that? And they're like, oh, it's arcane, but the next time you ask, it's druidic. And next time you ask, it's got connections to like a goddess, you know, a nature goddess that you've vaguely heard of. Because Myleeki's kind of like a moderate to minor power. She's not the power of nature. She just is a nature goddess. Yeah. Yo, because let's be honest, she has her father, who in like actual like game terms is like a fighter ranger rogue. I don't know about the rogue, but you know, fighter ranger. You know, he's basically he's with Caddy Bree, who after being reincarnated was raised by a Netherese wizard and taught arcane magic. So she is a wizard. But she also trained as a cleric of Myleeki, and by extension, a druid. And by the point that like Joey was reading the novels, she you know, she basically has the ability to enchant things. She basically gave Drizzt a shield that emits a paralytic toxin that allows him to like lull people to sleep without killing them. Because he don't like killing people. Yeah. Also, Drizzt is learning how to be a monk currently, at least in the timeline. And then you have his various uncles and grandfather. Bruenor is, of course, an exceptional like fighter and smith. And he's beloved by the dwarven gods. So he's got that. Fucking Wolfgar is a barbarian who is a exceptional fighter. And then you've got Regis, who is also a very committed, you know, friend of Drizzt's. And, you know, in this life, because in the previous one, he was really just a rogue and kind of like a lockpicker. But like in this lifetime, he was like, Drizzt did me such a solid his entire life that I am going to dedicate this life to being an awesome friend. He was like one of the few people who very specifically remembered that he was like reincarnated for Drizzt's purposes. You know, so he dedicated himself to just working on himself so that when they met up, he'd be a super useful friend. Bree's got all of that training, like backing her up. She's not entering as like a adventurer who just knows how to hold a shield or a sword. Yeah, so it's a little bit iffy in cases. So like Bruenor, right. Yeah, I was trying to remember what I was trying to build. Bruenor remembered who he was. Regis remembered who he was. Fucking Wolfgar, I want to say, remembered who he was. Caddy Bree was like the only one who didn't remember immediately who she was, and spends like a chunk of time basically like, you know, ignorant of that and being like raised in like the life she received. And let's see. Okay. Let's call this a 2 meter lofted platform. Select icon. Yeah, but yeah, like, yeah, like she is not entering into the field of like adventuring with nothing under her feet. And it's like, I get it. You know, it's difficult to establish yourself when you've got famous parents. But you know, so many fucking actors and actresses came from famous families. Some are just completely outdone by their more famous family member. And you just kind of work with that. You don't fucking bellyache about how like, oh, you know, I deserve to be known as like, probably, maybe. It's his cash cow. He can write other things, and he is a talented writer, but like, it's just kind of frustrating. He's trying to like moonlight this new character, and it's like, dude, you could have fucking like introduced her in so many other ways. Been like, I am the what? Okay. Did I just do a stupid there? I did. Okay. Okay. 6-meter lofted platform. Yeah. I mean, that would be a hard one. Like, oh my god, the expectations. Oh yeah, and Elminster's like bastard. Don't expect awesome magic out of me yet. I've just started. See, that's like a fucking like better way to enter it. It's like, like I'm just starting my adventure, so don't expect the same. But one day I hope to eclipse him, etc. That's a little bit less whiny, and gives somebody a sense that like you're like willing to put in the fucking work. Christ, Elminster must have a lot of kids, though. He fucks a lot. No, really, like the one like a content creator I follow on YouTube. She's like all about the fucking Forgotten Realms, and apparently back in the day it was brought up more, but the Forgotten Realms has a lot of background writing from its earlier days centered around sex. Like, it's to the point that it was referred to sometimes as Ed Greenwood's magical realm. It's funny too, because there's literally like, okay, so Mystra, apart from her Chosens, has like a Magister, like, or something like that. And she only ever has one at any given time. And the vast majority of Magisters came by their position by force. As in, they killed the previous Magister. And fucking, there's one dude who became the Magister by fucking accident. He was, okay, get this. He was a were-dragon. And the previous Magister fell in love with him and married him. But to protect herself, she had so many enchantments protecting her. So very many. And on the night of their nuptials, he was inside her when one of her wards went off to reveal people's true forms. So he promptly turned into a dragon, and she exploded from oversized dick. Oh, yeah. And his death wasn't particularly nice either, because, like, he wasn't himself a Magister. He was just a fucking, like, half-dragon who literally fucked his way into the position. Yeah, so he gets tracked down by several other mages who hoped to take the position from him. And They try to kill him, and they succeed. But apparently, most of them died, and one of them was so terrified by this that he went from an asshole to a good man, turning over a new leaf. And he spent, I think, 5 to 10 years as the Magister before going to one of his domiciles, more like his personal place of solitude, and he put on some cape that somebody had swapped out, and this cape promptly targeted 50 magic missiles on him from immediate range. So yeah, he promptly died. Let's see. Empty platform. Empty platform. Okay. Okay. 4 meter. Are you kidding me? Please tell me I didn't. Oh, okay. Yeah, not the most pleasant way to die, though. Low to platform. 4 meters. I sometimes find this blueprint system a little bit frustrating because it's not the most functional at times. Save. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind a setting being a bit horny. Yo. Oh. I think you misheard me, EA. Or you might have misspelled that. A cape of magic missiles. As in, a cape that you would wear on your back. Otherwise called a cloak. That would be funny, though. That would be something to put in one of the more recent Dungeons and Dragons books that have people baking cakes and eating cakes and being like, "Look at me, I'm having an adventure. Aren't I so adventurous? So squeaky clean." Philosopher, you're gonna have to preface that statement. He even gave birth as a woman at one point. Okay, yeah. Okay. Transport. Rail. What's that red stuff over there? I feel like that's one of those times Mr. was being a bitch. Many such cases. The gods in the Forgotten Realms are not good entities half the time. Even the benevolent ones. That's not to say they're necessarily malicious, but like... Fucking, Mystra once basically was, like, okay, so... A previous incarnation of Mystra, prior to, like, Midnight taking the role in, the Avatar Crisis, she met Kelemvor, who would later become the god of death after deposing, Miracle. And whereas, say, like... Whereas, like, Miracle was evil, Kelemvor basically briefly was basically a good god of death, and then had to, like, remove all vestiges of his humanity because the other gods threw the biggest bitch fit. But, you know, in the case of, like, the prior Mystra, she met Kelemvor, and Kelemvor was not enthused by the gods because his family was under a curse, a legacy curse that had gone on for centuries. And originally, it was because his, like, ancestor was, like, a mercenary and wouldn't do a thing for a person for free. So they cursed him to only ever be able to do things for free. Otherwise, they'd turn into a werewolf. But, see, the curse had aged poorly. And by the current generation that he was from, he was basically incapable of, like, doing anything for free. Otherwise, he would turn into a werewolf. Did I just do two of those? Might have. So, like, he meets Mystra, and she's all like, I'm the goddess of Mystra, goddess of magic. You may have heard of me. And he's basically like, I'll believe it when I see it. And she's like, you know what? I am the goddess of magic, and I would have helped you. But now, I'm not going to help you, ever. You know, like, the bitchiest thing to say to a mortal who's, like, essentially blighted by, you know, magic at the behest of some asshole sometime somewheres. So, yeah, he got that. He eventually got his by basically becoming a god of death. Even if he did have to basically, like, leave behind his humanity in doing so. And only because his one backstabby friend, Sirik, who had himself killed many gods and subsumed their portfolios by this point, was all like, these people were previously mortal. And the gods were all like, oh, you can't have previously been mortal. Yeah, he's still the god of death. Miracle returned, but, like, they share the portfolio, I guess. I can't remember how the whole thing works. But, like, Miracle still exists. He was a dead power for a time. But, like, I want to say he shares, like, the portfolio in so far as he represents the, okay, you were shitty in life, you get to experience a shitty death. Yeah, that would make sense. Not as minor as Jergal, but still. And even a minor power like Jergal is still basically relevant enough to do some pretty sick shit based off of Baldur's Gate 3. Okay, Baal is the god of murder. Baal is the god of murder, Bane is the god of tyranny, and Miracle is the god of death. Prior to them, it was Jergal, who they kind of just like found their way to. I'm not sure if he was in Icewind Dale, but like, anyways, they found their way to him, and we're all like, LOL, we found you, we're gonna kill you. And Jergal was all like, LOL, I didn't want this job anyways, so you can have it without fighting. However, you have to decide who gets what. And they proceeded to become what they are, kind of out of spite for each other because they were evil back then to begin with. Let's see. I want to say Bane was like, I'm going to become the god of tyrants and you know, like rule over all, and y'all can't do shit about it. Fucking Baal was like, you know what? Screw you, man. I'm going to become the god of murderers, and I'm going to kill your tyrants. And people are going to worship me to kill your tyrants. And Miracle, you know, who, you know, essentially pulled the short straw to go last, was like, yeah, well, all things die in the end, so I'm going to get your tyrants and your murderers. Suck it. And your murders are always going to lead people to me. God, the Miracle fight had such fucking, like, riz. I haven't even, like, finished Act 3 in Baldur's Gate 3. And the thing is, I did kill, you know, Sasuke after he hits the wall. I forget his name, Gortash. But, like, goddamn. The actual decline in riz between. Like, sincerely, I did not expect to fight the god Miracle when I played that fight. And he just shows up and he's like, I'm not letting this slide. You just talked my, you just talked my champion into committing, you know, TOS violations. So I'm gonna fucking come out and destroy you, for I am the god of death. And I'm like, shit. Yeah, I'm gonna... If I come up here... Ah! I'm all wet when I didn't need to be. Sag. Okay, that's a good spot to come up. Fuck. There we go. Restream was being weird for a moment there. It was saying that I wasn't connected on Twitch. How are things on the Twitch end? Are you still hearing me? Okay, good. Yeah, Restream's being weird where like the actual Restream chat is like not properly updating, or it wasn't. So like the stuff you were saying was going to the Streamlabs chat. That's like God of Animals, who also got wind of that and also tried to get a part of his power. Yeah, Gortash was felt lacking. Okay, yeah. Yeah, like Gortash, genuinely, it's like, I was like, oh, I literally went into that fight expecting for Ball to show up at some point. I set it up so that he wouldn't have the robots on his side. You know, like, I went and did everything else to, like, you know, excuse myself being able to go after him. And I fucking, you know, go and face him. And, like, the first room is just nothing but, like, mook dudes and fucking, you know, like, traps. I take those out. I then, like, go and face him. And he's just a bitch who throws bombs at you. Which admittedly sucked because he rolled, well on his fucking initiative check and immediately obliterated half my party, so I reloaded. Put down a sphere of, like, invulnerability. And he didn't even open with that time. And I proceeded to take him out so easily. It's also kind of funny because, like, the game described, like, prefaces Gortash's description as a young man with a charming smile. It's like, I'm sorry. Young man? The dude looks like he's in his midlife crisis. I mean, the location of the battle fits for a dude who's, like, you know, pushing himself as a tyrant. But I mean, come on. You know, fucking... I wasn't feeling patroned by Ball there, or Bane there. Fucking Ball's presence I've seen in, like, bits. You know, is more, like, influential. And you're fighting his, like, personal fucking, murder minion. See... Okay, I don't want to have to deal with that, so I'm gonna go in and, Go. Remember the underground fight with the scary-looking dude to rescue the elephant detective? I'll admit I never got to that point. Fucking elephant detective. I think it was called an Oliphant. That thing was so fucking useless. It's like, oh, well, you know, I've already solved the murderer, so... No, I'm gonna fucking repair that. Just goes to show, just because something's a lot like lawful good doesn't mean it's necessarily lawful intelligent. Now, I could bring it down that area into like the sort of lower ravine area, but I'm looking to set up my my trains in a better spot this time around. I wonder if I were to build up to this spot here, where would that allow me to come down? I could do with less bullshit from having to go up and around. Yeah, okay, let's see if I can't work that. Where is my chainsaw? Okay, those were visually in the way. Let's see. Actually, I should bring that over here. No. No. Not high beams. Too straight. Okay, there we go. Let's give this some supports. Let's give them some actually big supports. Okay. Okay, so through here, over the hills and through the woods, to grandmother's house we go. Okay. That only took 1,000,000 years. Ah. Sticky. Hmm. Very real possibility. Sorry, just thinking to myself. Ba. I need to get back to my on-stream Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough, or start a new one. The absolutely typical experience of playing Baldur's Gate 3. Look, Act 1 and 2 are so fucking good. Act 3 is not bad. It's just that, like, it is a lot. Like, I'm somebody who experiences decision paralysis quite easily. And unfortunately, Act 3 is decision paralysis, the act. Like, essentially everywhere as you go is like a major story payoff. And they're all good. Like, genuinely, some of the best payoffs of like, my gaming experience. Like, let me put it to you this way. I did not expect to like Astarion as much as I did. Because this whole thing is, I'm the evil one, quotes. But then, like, you find out that he's really just extremely traumatized. You know, I've yet to experience Minthara, but like all of her lines are bangers, all of her acting is amazing, and you know, she seems to be like one of the most nuanced evil characters I've ever seen. Because as much as she, you know, is evil, as much as she is a drow, she doesn't like withhold actual concern for how like certain people's lives will go. Like, when faced with the prospects that say like, you know, fucking, oh fuck. Big, rough and tumble, you know, Karlach. You know, when faced with the prospects that Karlach is choosing to die rather than to like go to the, you know, to the nine hells, to the abyss, to live, you know, fucking Minthara is basically like, we will find a way to help you. You know, we will. I swear it. And like, you could basically be like, you know, this is my choice and I'm choosing this. And it's like soul crushing to her because she sees like the amount of potential that Karlach represents as an individual. And it's just like, that's just not fair. You know, like that is so literally unfair for somebody so strong and capable and, you know, like with so much to live for, just giving up like that. Yeah, the most you get is either the prospects of one day being free of it, but ultimately after spending like most of your time in the nine hells to you know, survive. You know, or death. Actually, there is one exception. If you romanced you know, Gale, he basically gives you the means to avoid death by essentially becoming a god with him. Okay, there we go. Freight car. Locomotive. I think you need 2 on it to, I mean, it's such a minor thing, but at the same time, it's divinity. Why is it just kind of tipping up like that, I wonder? Oh, these all have, anyways. Okay, let's see. No, that's not how you do this. Timetable. Train. At a timetable. You and you. Save changes. Turn on. Unload. Okay, so let's watch it on the thing. It is funny though, because like, yeah, okay, minor god, but an ambitious god, therefore one who will aspire to grow. And I mean, it wouldn't be the first time a god successfully grew to like moderate or higher. I find it hilarious though, because like, if you accept fucking, you know, what's his nuts' deal for the hammer. Yo, you could just give the crown to fucking, Gale. And he's just like, LOL, suck a dick. Yo, you can have it if you aspire to take it. And fucking Raphael's like, that wasn't the deal. You so rarely get to see a fucking, a devil lose their absolute shit. Ugh. Well, while we're doing other things. Oh yeah, definitely I'd probably sooner go and kill Raphael. So I could have like his fucking his song blare and then him get like stabbed in the back by the sexy fiend dude. It's returning, right? Yeah, it's returning. Oh, so let me guess, too many numbers and the game couldn't handle it? Ah, fuck. I'm gonna have to go back for the rubber. Whatever. Light clerics are busted. Yo. Especially in Act 2. Especially with the blood of Lathander. A solo run's something I don't think I'd ever do in a game like that, because like half the game is, you know, the roleplay aspect. At that point, you're just treating the game like a numbers game, and at that point, I'm just like not interested. I was right there! Gods! Have you any idea how much that hurt? Oh, I thought it wouldn't hurt you because you're immune to the sun right now. Oh, well, apparently there's a limit. A limit between bright sunny day and the full concentrated might of the sun. Fine. There we go. Doing 38 items a minute. I think that's a little bit inflated because I just received a fuckload of those things. Calculating throughput on a train is a thing that I've not quite gotten down pat. Refinery. Liquid. Oh, this is a perfect place. I'm not gonna put much. Okay. No. Okay. Okay. Middle. Ah, no, that's useless. What are you doing? Getting a merger to self-suck like that is stupid. You will take 90 a minute. You will not produce 90 a minute unless I give you a shard. Okay. And you need 45 water a minute. So I'm gonna put some water down. Hmm. 5.5. Getting this shit out of my inventory. Complete waste of space. It's not even efficient for biofuel. Organization. Um, okay, there we go. Okay, so let's see. I've got basically a lot of plastic here. I'm getting basically biofuel fluid running. I'm seeing if that's any good. Doesn't hurt to try. There we go. And how much is this yielding in a give and go? 180. I need 90. Actually, let's max you out. Okay, so 180 is 200%. There we go. First time ever working this shit. Oh, right. Does this have anything? Oh yeah, it does. It's connected. Ah, okay. It's starting to get flow. There we go. Oh, that actually is pretty decent. The upwards lift isn't great. Turbo fuel has amazing upwards lift, but the actual longevity of the fucking boost. And you can supplement your lift by just, you know, going like that. Turbo fuel? Oh, no, I mean for your jetpack. When it comes to fucking, like, pipes and its applications in a system, it's genuinely solid as, like, a fuel for reactors. And I think it's used in nitro fuel? Jet fuel. I think it's called jet fuel later on down the line. Or it can be. So I've got plastic here, and I've got rubber here. I've set up fuel. Now, for probably next stream, I'm going to be, just going to assess what I've got here. Because this can all be improved. Yeah, we're probably gonna go get hard drives. Let's see. No. Later. Actually, yeah, right now. Eh. No, I'm gonna take that. I wonder. Do I have the resources to get hard drive? That's quartz. No-ish. Actually, maybe. Maybe. I believe this is the playthrough where I did bring the quartz down. My other playthrough, I didn't. I didn't bother. But this one, I think I brought it down and started making shit. Yeah, that's what I needed. Where, oh where?
Research completed. Crystal oscillator recipe unlocked. New quartz research available.
Okay, let's see. A crystal oscillator requires... I need 100 crystal oscillators. Plates. And lots of that shit. I won't be able to automate this shit for a good long while. Actually, I might have the recipe for it now, but what do you mean? Oh, I ran out of crystal. Don't need this yet, don't need this yet. Now, how much crystal oscillators did I need? I swear it said 100. Yeah, it requires 100. Wait, is that the correct one? Pretty sure it is. Yeah, okay. Radio signal scanning. Useful for tracking down these hard drives. I could just whip out the map. But even with the map, I still end up having to interpret, like, you know, lay of the land and all that shit. It's just another tool in my arsenal. Well, while I'm waiting on that. There we go. Okay. I now have bombs. Okay, let's get rid of these things while I wait. Ugh. Dunno. I've never played Bomberman. Actually, I think I played it briefly on the 64. I haven't played a Bomberman since. Okay, there we go. That shit is well and truly out of the way forever. Those things do not respawn. I've cast them into the pits of hell. Oh. Yeah. Crystals? Can I pump out the 100 or so that I need in this stream? Hmm. So its upward lift isn't amazing, but with a little bit of practical use, you can go pretty far. And crystals. I am mad hungry. I am going to order myself a butter chicken. Because I'm basic as hell. Yeah. I fucking love me a butter chicken. Reminds me of how when my mother once visited my sister and stepsister. One of my stepsisters was at the time living in Berlin, not far from my middle sister. She used to work for a company called, actually, literally SoundCloud. And that was before she met her husband and married him and moved to Sweden. But while they're in Germany, my mother was introduced to currywurst, the spicy sausage street food. I don't know, but yeah, she was introduced to currywurst. And it's just like, let's start having like curry or like your like sausages and schnitzels for dinner. Schnitzels is good, but she never really like whole-assed the currywurst, which you'd think that's a half-ass food. Because it literally is just like sausage cut up with like curry powder and ketchup. But like, it was really just sausage as a side with nothing on it. It was still good, but, you know. Reminds me of how Reinhardt from Overwatch has a thing for currywurst. The sort of kebab wrap. I don't think I've ever had a donair. Is that how it's pronounced? I don't know how like the umlaut O is pronounced. Is it do? Like yeah, I don't know how the umlaut makes the O sound change. Okay, I've got enough of those, so.
Research completed. Smokeless powder recipe unlocked. New sulfur research available for the development of high-end weaponry and ammunition.
Let's see, actually, take a look at that. Smokeless powder. If I were to divert the excess... No, that would be annoying. I don't want to do things the way I did it in my previous file, like not my off-stream file, but my original file, where I just ran like conveyor belts from like their locations all over the place. I would like to make use of like the transportation technology. I may actually like, for a change, if I can set it up, get the vehicle shit working and bring coal down from the mountains, the excess coal, and then make use of that with the sulfur, which is already run down from the mountains, and maybe either package this shit off. So there's the train line, but there's also the truck. I didn't actually invest heavily in unlocking that technology. It's still there to be unlocked. But if you unlock the truck station, you can basically get into a truck and record a personally driven route to a location and then set the truck to do it autopilot. But it is a fucking ridiculously foolish AI. Like, its autopilot is dumb. So it's like, I could do that, but I definitely use it in a place of eventually replacing it with drones. Drones are kind of just the superior technology. Yeah. Okay, I've got enough of those. Just need one of these.
Object scanner magnetic sensitivity increased. It can now detect the signal of any hard drives at crash sites in your region.
There we go. That's all I was sticking around to do. I've got an idea and an action plan for next stream. I'm going to grab some hard drives. I'm going to probably set up more of this. I'm going to probably look into getting a smokeless powder, thing going on, so I can unlock, rifles. Rifles are better than the rail spike gun. If you can get the ammo up and going. But I'm going to see about invading on somebody. I think Bo only recently went up, so I'm gonna raid on Marshall _ Boamond because I loved him. Yeah, the shooting speed alone is fucking, like, yeah, amazing. But anyways, thank you for tuning in for my stream. I think I'll be back tomorrow. If you don't see me, that's because I probably preemptively went down to my mother's place and just don't have the setup quite yet for, like, a stream. Or I might. We shall see. But, actually, like, just, operate under the possibility that I'll be preempted. Either way, hope you enjoy Marshall's stream. I shall see you all when I see you all. Have a good afternoon or evening or whatever. I have been PaladinAshe, and I am signing off.